Finally, the last part of this video are best practices to check your assembly. We will start by searching for the shock absorber within the database. There are many results, and there is one useful thing, which is the preview. Click the preview to have an insight of the model. You can see here that the assembly has been meshed. You can as well look for relations, which is very useful to see if you have different parts attached to this assembly. And you can see that there is a physics simulation which is linked to this assembly. Okay, now let's just open it. So we have seen a mesh has been defined. If we open, you can see there is no finite element model attached. Why is that? Because a finite element model is a representation, and the basic open the file without all the representation. So I'm doing it again. Instead of open it, we will use the open with open advanced. And here representation, by default it's with 3D shape representation. It means we don't consider the finite element representation. If you want to open with everything, click with all representation. Now you can see that you have the finite element model attached for all parts. What about if you only open the part, and if you don't know if there are finite element model attached or not? There is a way to check about attached representation. By going at the upper level here, you have to be on CATIA product structure design, or you can be at CATIA assembly design. No matter. It doesn't matter. But you have to go to the tools section in the action bar, and you will find manage representation. Click here, select the product, and you will see that there is a finite element model representation which is linked to here. Click the select for load button, and it will attach the finite element model, but it will only attach this one. And for the sub-assembly, we can see that still we don't have the one. So there is one last thing to know. Still into the tools action bar, the links and relations. Click here. You can browse for selection, and if you select the finite element model, this is the global finite element model, you can see that you will have finite element model here, but they are not open in session. Just select all the one, right click and open, and you will find again this open advanced. So select with all representation and OK. And now you can see the finite element model has been open. So this is one best practice. If you don't see the finite element representation when you open it, think of open advanced, and if you just open the assembly without the open advanced, think of manage representation and links and relation. A second best practice is to check your connection. We have seen in the previous video when we define the assembly with all the connections. On this case it's tie connection. There are a lot of connection between different parts. To be sure that these connections are correctly set up, one best practice is to create a frequency analysis to see if the parts are correctly connected together. So go to the structural scenario, create a dummy frequency analysis. Finite element model, select this one, and the procedures, create a frequency step, and you can say all modes, all the first 10 modes, and just like this go to simulate and run this dummy frequency analysis. When the simulation is completed, you can check on the iterations tab to see the progress, the status, and on the diagnostic file you have 3 tabs. Data, where you can find information regarding eigenmodes. So we are doing a frequency analysis, so we have eigenvalue. You can see the mode number and the frequency attached. On message file, this is where you can see all the information regarding the solver, and most important, the error message and warnings. And to check correctly, you can animate whatever mode. So normally the first 6 modes are rigid body modes because we don't define any boundary condition. But you can see that there are some parts that are just there are no link with the rest, and the frequency value is very small. So that means that some connections are missing on that point. So go back to your model and check your connection. Use the connection manager and locate the connection where they are missing, and you can edit directly. Most of the time we can switch the support, the master and the slave surface. If you want to switch, so the green is the master, the purple is the slave. If you need to switch, you can just select here support 1 as the slave. And when everything has been corrected, you can see that the result now, when everything is okay, you have the first non-rigid body modes which have a frequency. So here you can see that all the parts has been connected together.